Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers. Welcome to your timeless work, career, vocation reading, and I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short. They're my initials. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998. Author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. It's available on Kindle. There's a link in the description box. If you click it, you can preview it for free. And then again, there is Patreon. Patreon.com/drawingthecircle. Good gods, I love it. My members-only subscription platform that allows me to do all sorts of creative stuff, creative type that I am. By the way, I am Mercury conjunct Venus in Libra, third house, because I'm Leo rising. So yeah, it's really great for the creative types. I've got 8 levels of subscribers: seekers, humans, heroes, angels, witches, immortals, mystics. Gods, goddesses is one tier, but it's at the top. They get everything that I'm serving over there, but all of my subscribers get the daily check-ins. Unlisted YouTube live stream link every morning. I haven't missed a day in a really long time. Talking about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications. Always ending with a little prayer, a little blessing, a little something, something to send us on our way. And it is my favorite way to start the day. And all of my subscribers also get all of the extended readings, the part 2s to the part 1s here on YouTube. You can Vimeo if you like. I love when people Vimeo on demand, but I love giving it to my subscribers. Everything from Seeker, first level, all the way up to God, Goddess, top tier, whatever. I just mixed my metaphors. Get used to it. I just love it over there. So the link is down there if you want to come along. It's the best career move I ever made, and there's a work, career, vocation read. So go check it out if you want a deeper dive. More magic, more miracles, more mysticism, more Mal. Come Patreon on Patreon, because I am the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons. You can call me Mal. Shall we? Yay. If you're new to the channel, this is essentially what is called, I call at least, a 3-level of power read. 3 archetypal lenses through which you can look at many different aspects of life, in this case your life purpose, in terms of how you survive, work, your passion, your hunger, your thirst, your creativity, career, and your spiritual calling, your vocation, your mystical spiritual power, and bringing that into alignment as an overall life purpose. There is a link in the description box called a lecture from Carolyn Myss. That's MYSS. She's a PhD. These are her archetype cards, and the video is talking about the 3 levels of power, which I've used in many areas of my life. But once I learned work, career, vocation, boo, as a Virgo sun sign, I doubled down. So I've been doing work, career, vocation reads for people for a very, very long time. There are chakras involved. I'll explain all that as I go. But it is a timeless read, so there is a timeless read list, as well as one just for the timeless work, career, vocation reads. You never know. Go with your intuition, right? General read, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, particularly if you see the repetition of certain archetypes that, you're experiencing, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. If you see them in the title, you might find some clues, tips, and hints there, because usually the sun sign, like my Virgo sun, might have its leverage, right, if I'm working in work, right? If I work that one, it shifts everything else, because it's an overall energy field. Shifted a little, the whole thing shifts. My moon sign could be, at that point, more attuned to my vocation, right? So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. And heads up, cross-watchers. There'll be enough information to help do some healing, bring some alignment in, and some fulfillment, right? Fulfilling your life purpose. So know that this is about alchemy. I love the language of spiritual alchemy. Shadow to light, lead to gold, paint to peace. 3 atoms in between lead and gold on the periodic table. Lead having 3 more is heavier than gold, if you like. So the more each and every one of us does this a little bit, we're shifting timelines and all of that, not just for ourselves and not just for our work, career, vocation, but really for all of life on planet Earth and beyond that. It's tinfoil hat woo-woo land right now, but that's enough for me, right? Stay grounded. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. Now you get why I will do my best to help the Libra Collective and the Cross Watchers fulfill their life purpose. I can't do it for them, but I can do it with them. And as a Virgo, of course, I'm here to serve. So the shift from explanation to divination happens in the still point. So please take a nice deep breath. Here we go. Buckle up. Still point. And away we go. Using the Caroline Myss archetype cards, I call to the collective pantheons of the divine. For the Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers watching this video and receiving this reading. 3 archetypes, please. The dominant archetypes in the 8th chakra of their work, career, and vocation, respectively. Sending down the codes, right? The soul power to be alchemized from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy. It's in their contract, right? Reason, a season, or lifetime. So what's going on? First level of power. Work. Lower 3 chakra dominant, in dealing with the physical world, relationships in the physical world, the masculine, the yang. Work. What you got to do to survive. What's going on in the 8th chakra of their career. Heart, third eye, crown chakra dominant, the creative intuition, right? Our passion, our hunger, our thirst, what lines us up and sets us loose, hopefully, and particularly creative air, Libra. That should be interesting. Second level of power. And what's going on in the vocation, the 8th chakra dominant, the vocation, our spiritual calling, our our mystical and a spiritual power of the 8th chakra itself, the satellite itself. What's the dominant archetype going on? To be shadowed, to be archetype, to be alchemized from shadow to light. Lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, for the well-being of all. God, you think it was a Gemini read? Now, we lay them down 1, 2, 3. We read them 3, 2, 1, because you always want to go from the highest and work down, right? Bring it down in inspiration into manifestation. Oh, so we start off with the wounded child archetype, and we go to the dilettante archetype, and then we go, ooh, to the Don Juan. Uh-oh. Well, the Don Juan and work, we'll talk about it. There are 9 different families of archetypes. The child is one of the survival family archetypes, the first family of archetypes you learn about in sacred contracts, because everybody has those 4. The child, the victim, the saboteur, the prostitute. I know this sounds horrible, but all archetypes are neutral. Not everybody has the child archetype. Not everybody has the wounded child archetype, so let's get into it. What's written on the bottom of each of these cards is called the shadow attribute. Consider that the lead, symbolically speaking. The light attribute, the gold, toxic, healthy, right? Poverty, wealth, right? Wherever we are in that. It's a percentage scale for all of us, particularly in a general read. So I'm going to read you what's on here for each of these. And that's the most we talk about the cards mostly. Oh, except to say this is a 13 card spread, I forgot. Everybody's getting the first 12, the usual suspects. But your wild deck, the 13, because I choose it before I go on camera, I go, who wants to play? Well, you are getting the newest member to the Join the Circle Productions divinatory staff team, whatever. At the time of this recording, the Archangel Fire Oracle. I don't know why. Maybe it's the wings and we're air signs that way. Whatever, we'll see. So here we go. The wounded child archetype, like I said, everybody has the child. Not everybody has the wounded child. There's the divine child, the eternal child, the orphan child, the magical child, and on and on and on. The shadow attribute, the lead, blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. And forgiveness, it depends on the forgiveness that you were taught, right? There's Newtonian forgiveness, which is subject and object, no connection whatsoever. So you did it, but I'm going to forgive you. Even though you did it doesn't really work. I mean, everybody's got their own brand, but there's a more quantum forgiveness based on unity, and that this is essentially a dream we're living in, and we're all ones. We're only really forgiving ourselves, and the child can't really see that. And we're not talking about kids here. It might have been wounds from childhood, spiritual wounds affecting your vocation. But check this out. This is probably going to be more the tea for the Libras I know. The light attribute. awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. I highly recommend A Course in Miracles, but you might want to prepare yourself before that. Do a little Marianne Williamson. Do a little, oh God, his name just went out of my head, Disappearance of the Universe. Gary Renard, right? Enter gently into A Course in Miracles. I'm a teacher and a student of, but it has done so much to help teach me true forgiveness, quantum forgiveness. But even the Course in Miracles says simple need not imply easy. So that's interesting, because your ability to forgive, it's forgiving yourself as well. Blah, blah, blah. Let's keep going. That's in your vocation. That feels very vocational. So let's talk about the career here, the dilettante, a creative family archetype. Don Juan is wild card. I think, yeah, no, it is wild card family archetype. I'm pretty sure. It's a lot to remember. The dilettante is the dabbler. Now, the great thing about that is that there's a whole area there to explore in the gold, because mostly dilettante is a dirty word in creative circles. Shadow attribute, pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. Never goes well. It never goes well. You know, that's the great thing about truth. It's not much to remember. It's so much to keep track of. Dabbler, muggle dabbler, delights of the gold. Delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love cooking. I do. I'm a potion witch. I can make a bolognese. I swear to God, I've brought men to their knees. Well, they're on the knees before the bolognese, but, you know, location. But I don't want to be a chef. I don't want to be working in it. No. You do not want me in food service. If people were rude to me, I would hex their food and they would never know. And it would be untraceable. That's why I do this. Because I got to do a lot of spiritual practice before I get on camera, as well as everything else. So, like, in my spiritual practice, I'm not a dabbler in any way, shape, or form. But, you know, TikTok and Reels and stuff like that, it's a creative form. Absolutely, I dabble in them. In other words, if the divine wants me to do it, I'll do it, right? But I don't need to be a professional TikToker. Blessed be. I mean, Brian D. Hollis, that guy with the vintage bakery, so cute. Useless Farm, are you kidding me? I love her. Poor Michael the alpaca. I love him though. I've dated him in human form in other lives, I'm sure. Let's move on, shall we? Dabbler, dilettante. Oh, dilettante. It's such a blah. But to be like, no, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, right? The Don Juan. Oh, let's put it on the table. The Don Juan. I mean, if you know who Don Juan is, technically it translates into Father Juan. Oh, it sounds so holy. Read upon Don Juan, a great seducer. By the way, the Don Juan archetype, though it is, you know, appears masculine, it's wild card family. So this could show up as a car salesman, salesperson, the shadow attribute, using the power of romantic attraction for private agenda. Libra. Come now, it's Venus. We're talking about Aphrodite, sweet and flighty, who loves to show up in a see-through nightie. Come on now, although that might be more femme fatale, which is another in this family of archetypes. So here's an amazing part. Just like the dilettante, right? There's so much gold to explore that we're not used to it. The light attribute spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. Salespeople, right? The Don Juan is definitely a part of it is magnetic, right? It's like, come to me, but a part of it is very romantic, and I love that they're doing the tango, right? You know, it definitely gives an sexual and romantic vibe, but it ain't necessarily so in every situation. But we're going to say these are very powerful. So you've got a survival, creative, and a wild card in your vocation, career, and work. This should be fun. I mean, I'm here for every reading I do, but like I said, I'm Venus and Libra, so please take a nice deep breath. Just a center after that. That's a lot. Okay, we're going to look at the next 4 chakras down for each level of power. Heart, third eye, crown dynamic, the internal, the feminine, feminine energy. That's why we're using the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Now, these three archetypes are very much 8th chakra, very much connected to the vocation. This one's very connected to the creative intuition of a career, right? And really, that's kind of Libra terrain. Please take a nice deep breath. Cardinal air, creative air. Still pointed. Yeah, absolutely. As I call upon my goddesses of air, the sign of Libra. Powers of the East, 3 cards, face down, please. Work, career, vocation for the Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. Watching this video and receiving this reading. In their work, they've got the Don Juan archetype in the 8th. What's going on under that, right? Because the archetype sends down the codes, what we attract and what we repel, and all the other chakras. So what do they need to be aware of to alchemize that from shadow to lead, light to gold? Toxic to healthy, and this time with truly free. They're like, yeah. Move it along. Same, please, but for the dilettante in the 8th chakra of their career, and this is heart, third eye crown dominant, so this one should be key. And in their vocation, the wounded child, and I mean serving wounded children, I mean that's a big part of my own personal work in this world. Dealing with, I don't 18 and over, please. No, I want legal adults. Thank you very much. Make your own decisions. But if a parent and a child come to me, that's a different story. But that means I got to really keep an eye on my own wounded child stuff, particularly when it comes to spirituality, because that stuff could be scary. So please, what's going on? Heart, third eye crown, invocation with the wounded child in the 8th for the Libra collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. That's the first one we're going to turn over, and I got to tell you, I like it. You got the Ace of Flames on the inner. That's inspiration. That can be a choice you haven't chosen yet, but it's like, oh, we want that. Ooh, like that, right? A spark that you can, spit on if you like, put it out, or you can tend and grow and take the entire cycle of flames there. Now that can be very exciting, spiritually speaking. For any child, right? Something new. Oh, the child archetype, regardless of seb pattern, is always about innocence and safety, because when a child feels safe, they can relax, and that light shines through. They ain't got all that conditioning just yet. So maybe for some. But if the child does not feel safe, they go into lead mode, and nightmare. Not necessarily tantrums. Right, the wounded child could add. That's the active part of it. The passive part of it just goes invisible and just sort of vanishes into the background, and a whole spectrum in between as well. So an interesting thing there. Spiritually, remember that's your vocation, your life calling has to do with that. And if you're working, some people don't realize they're working with wounded children until they do, and you go, oh, the child has taken over. Childish, right? If you're dealing with people who are childish, that's pain. That's lead. Just saying. You want to dabble in that? Well, heal or heal thyself. I got the Aries card, a court card on the inside. If you have any planets in Aries, I don't know, check the Aries read. But it's cardinal fire and your opposite sign, Libra. So this is definitely feeling very throat chakra. It's like you have a choice, but you've got to make the highest selfish choice you can make on this as a dabbler. Sometimes people don't like that you're not an expert at something. In other words, like in terms of creativity, what do you mean it's not monetizable? Right? It's like you're allowed that creativity, your passion, your hunger, and your thirst, whatever this is about, dabble away. As far as I am concerned, dilettante the night away, darling. Have at it, right? But this is Calafia. The Aries card. This is the Maiden of Flames, but it would be the King of Wands in the traditional tarot. She's the goddess that they named California after. How cool is that? Like totally Amazon, like Themyscira West. I'm so into it. So, you know, that can be a passion. That can be like, no, I'm starting this first house. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And so I'll dabble. So what? I don't have to make a living out of it. It's lighting me up right now. And that, look at the pattern of fire, you know, what you yearn for, what you burn for, what your heart desires. This could be very that, especially for a child to do something that they always wanted to do. Like there are famous people that I guess would like to meet. Some of them I would like to read, but you know, the child in me is like, we don't need to bother them. You know what I mean? It's like the, you know, heart's desires and things that would be cool. A little interesting to figure that out. Let's see what's going on in the work world. The Don Juan in the 8th with the Hermit card. The Hermit card in the Daughters of the Moon is called the Wise One, and it's the Kaliach. The crone. The High Priestess is the maiden, so to speak. The Empress is the mother, and the Hermit here, the Kaliach, on a gray horse, zooming over, just galloping over in the sky, you know, above Stonehenge, whatever, seeing things from that higher place. Now, like I said, or maybe I didn't go into enough, when it's a court card on the inside, if it's anything in the sign indicated, I think you get the vibe regardless. First house, Aries, energy, self, personality, ego, to be higher, selfish as you dabble, but it feels very throat chakra. This is your choice to make and nobody else's. When it is a major arcana, it's the whole zone. Heart, third eye, crown. So, I'm going to say that going deeper in and higher up, to get that you have positive seductive qualities. Look, I have people who work in all sorts of industries, like friends, clients, for a very, very, very long time, and they don't always see how magnetic they are and how charismatic they are, maybe because of childhood stuff. I'm not going to say that's true across the board, but you see how that could happen there, particularly if there's something that they really, really want to do, but that may not be profitable. Some might find it childish, but if it's about the delight, if it's about creativity, it's a creative family archetype in the creative zone, so to speak, creative intuition, heart, or third eye crown, then you might have to go it alone on this one. But Don Juan archetype, I think it's going to really tune you into your positive seductive qualities. There's nothing more seductive than somebody who doesn't know that they're seductive. You don't know she's beautiful? What? That song is playing in my head. Ow. Let's keep going. Let's shift. Let's get into the lower 3 chakras, please. You don't know you're beautiful? Oh my god. Am I going to have to play that later to get it out of my head? Probably. I mean, there's always soaking my head in a pail of water. I don't know. Let's get these lower 3 chakras down. The masculine energy, the yang. Lower 3 chakra dynamics are relationships in the world, but it's also stepping out of your side, looking at yourself horizontally, or maybe you from the inside looking out at different people, places, and things. It's a general read. But this is, you know, how this manifests itself, or at least information needed that you need to be aware of. To bring this together, please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon my gods of air, the sign of Libra, powers of the East, my beloved gods of cardinal air. 3 cards in clarity: work, career, vocation, lower 3 chakra dynamic for the Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers, please, who are watching this video and receiving this reading. To help them fulfill their life purpose, we start with their work. Don Juan in the 8th. Kaliach in heart, third eye, crown. We're doing these face down, lower 3 chakras. What's going on in their career? Dilettante and Aries, Calafia, Maiden of Flames, King of Wands on the inner, and Wounded Child in the 8th of their vocation, which is about their spirituality, their spiritual power, their mystical power, kind of hoodah-doodah there. With the Ace of Flames on the inner sounds really good. The keyword creation itself, I love that for cardinal signs in general. With the Aries, cardinal fire, their opposite sign, that does click. So please, what's going on? We'll turn this one over. What's going on? Lower 3 chakra, inside out, outside in, relationships in the world, including their relationship to themselves, their honor code, who they are, their boundaries, how they want to be in the world in this timeless read. Well, you've got a court card here. Court card, so again, wounded child. In the 8th, this Ace of Flames, like a beginning, something initiating on the inner, creative, spit, swallow, or chew, up to you. Lower 3 chakras, court card, Capricorn, King of Pentacles. Now, general read like this. 10th house, dynamic, is about highest potential. This could be you, right? Parenting that child, Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, boundaries. It's the father of the zodiac, right? This does not have to be your literal father. It could be somebody with Capricorn vibe, you know, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Uranus, you know, you do you. I love that Aquarians are ruled by Uranus. But, you know, dance like nobody's watching. Aristotle. King of Pentacles here. That's interesting. It also says, if this is you from the outside looking in, you have the cardinal, it's another cardinal sign, you have the cardinal wealth, the creative wealth to do this, but it is slow and steady wins the race. In other words, if that child in you does not feel safe and protected, it feels like either there's someone who does in this, who has, you know, again, they don't have to necessarily have Capricorn, you know, planets in Capricorn. But it is definitely that sense of strong and stable, but not even a mountain goat runs up a mountain. It is slow and steady wins the race, takes time. Chronos, the Greek god that is Saturn in the Roman iteration of the pantheons. Then we are looking at a great harvest here possible. Spiritually. Interesting. In the creative zone, this one kind of feels important. I'm not sure exactly where the leverage is yet here. Usually I can feel it early on. I can't with this. Dilettante in the 8th of the career. Maiden of Flames, Calafia on the inner. The Aries card, with 7 of Cups. Okay, got it. 7 of Cups is a lot of emotional options in the physical world. Ooh. But, it's sort of like a really emotional shopping trip. It's a bad metaphor. Well, simile. I said like or and. Like or as. So yeah, this is Psyche, who's already married to the sun, Eros, of son Aphrodite, son of Aphrodite. Long story short, she's begging her, please bring him back. I will do whatever you ask. She goes, well, I have some errands that need running. How do you feel about the river Styx? And the myth continues, and 10 of Cups is lovely, right? So, but there you have to choose like one of those to dabble in, or maybe that's the thing. You might have the apathy of too many options. It does happen. Particularly when people are offering all these cups, right? Well, dabble in this, dabble in that, dabble in this, dabble in that. We only have so much time in any given day, and our priorities are often defined by what we give our time and attention to. So, regardless of what you choose here, and, you know, sometimes no choice is the right choice, but in terms of how shallow, right? Because what's the second part of this? Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So what do you want to pursue in this in terms of your creativity, particularly being cardinal air, creative air, Libra? In work, Don Juan, hopefully with the wisdom of the crone on the inside there, and the star on the outer. Oh, if this is you from the outside looking in, you look like hope. you look like light. You look like you're probably pretty seductive, your energy field, or you're dealing with somebody else like this, or it really is lower 3 chakras saying that the guidance is there. This has happened a lot in this series. Not a whole lot of major arcana until like the last 2 on this side, where inner and outer, the whole zone is covered by major arcana. So think about this. Don Juan in the 8th, seductive power. Okay, wild card can look like anything. On the inside, hermiting. Trying to find the wisdom, see it from the largest, highest vibrational place you can. Get up in that crown chakra. With the star is about guidance. The star is about grace. That's why there is hope, and that's why our wishes are often just intuitions of things that are written and scripted anyway. but how we get our way there. You know, someone who is lit like a star, well, a star, right? What do we call someone who's a star? I mean, there are star athletes, there's, you know, there's star musicians. That word star has been used for a very, very long time, obviously to indicate something that shines and radiates. Well, to radiate, oh, is this unavailability? You might radiate a lot, but on the inside you're like, please don't touch me. That's little Diana Ross. With her blessed be. But with Don Juan, there is something seductive about that. I'm just going to say keep an eye on your agenda. Right? With any archetype, certainly. The agenda you don't want anybody to know about, that's called your shadow agenda, and is coming from the lead. And everybody's got it, right? Reason, a season, or a lifetime. Don't beat yourself up about it. Because, you know, what did this child learn spiritually about all this stuff? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying there's always a higher truth. We're all one. Boom. And the soul knows we're safe. The ego's always under threat, and the personality has to choose. Turn the other cheek. So, look, the guidance is here. I'm gonna say, just from the sheer amount of power, it's in your work. Like, what are your positive, seductive qualities? And you're like, what? Then there's an exploration there, and it's a deeper in, higher up inside. Remember, it's not all about mascara. We do our best. He said, clearing his third chakra. I mean, I am wearing Calvin Klein today, and I think he's happy with it. I think he's okay. Okay, Calvin? Yeah. Okay, the tarot is on the table. We have 3 more of our usual suspects. The Macon Healing Mantra deck, don't worry, I'm not going to read it from the bookie book. These readings aren't long enough. But I am going to read the bookie book for our last card down, Archangel Fire Oracle. I love that thing. So, the Perfect Healing Mantra, it works if you work it. The air signs in particular, I think, have a better luck with mantras, particularly like Libra, because if you're creating, right, creative air, that's your gig. That's why I do them so often. Different languages, whatever. I like a nice mantra. All right, enough's enough. Please take a nice deep breath. This one's easy. Still point. I hear you. As I call upon the ascended masters of life purpose through the sacred lenses, the sacred contracts of work, career, and vocation, please, beloved ones. 3 cards in clarity for the Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross-watchers watching this video, receiving this reading to help them alchemize the shadow to light, lead to gold, the pain to peace, toxic to healthy, in their life purpose, in their survival, their creativity, and their calling in this world. They got Don Juan in the 8th for their work, Hermit on the inner star on the outer, just to help them bring that into alignment, if that's like where the leverage is. And that's sort of how these readings, you don't have to work all of them maybe, but in their career, they've got the Dilettante in the 8th. Calafia, an Aries card on the inner. King of Wands, traditional tarot, Maiden of Flames, Daughters of the Moon. With 7 of Cups. You know, 7 of Cups can be very, very cloudy. Very, not necessarily hidden stuff, but confusing, cloudy, mysterious, right? So what's the perfect healing mantra to help them with that in their career and in their vocation? They got the Wounded Child in the 8th, which I mean, if there are people who don't have the wounded child, I'd love to meet their parents. They seem like lovely people, and I don't even know who they are. Wounded Child in the 8th. Ace of Flames on the inner. That's powerful, but it's potentially powerful, right? With the King of Pentacles on the outer, I don't see other way. There's so many ways to see that, but it's like on a mountain. Like in a mountain. Around it is this mountain, this cardinal earth, clean, healthy boundaries, a father energy, but just because Capricorn is the father of the zodiac, as Cancer is the mother of the zodiac. So please, what do you got for them? The perfect healing mantras for their vocation in this timeless read. Took a while to get that one. Aren't you glad we're not doing the boogie book? Okay. All right, we're going to read them this way. So, Wounded Child in the 8th, Ace of Flames on the inner, One of Flames on the inner, Capricorn on the outer, deconstructing doubt, only my beliefs are in the way. What'd you learn as a kid that you don't remember, that stuff back there in the cell tissue and in the subconscious mind? Everybody's got it. Oh yeah, just you. Just you, no one else. Right, that's silly, of course not. So in your work, in your vocation right now, you are deconstructing doubt. We're going to put all these together. In your career, the Dilettante, Maiden of Flames, Aries on the inner, Seven of Cups on the outer, untangling neglect. I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. Sounds an awful lot like an Aries throat chakra choice that you can make to help you make your way through the 7, untangling neglect. Now, we can talk about that forever, maybe another time, but the wounds of neglect are not always so very obvious. Abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss of the 4 ego wounds. Abuse is pretty easy to catch. Neglect can go on for a while because you don't even realize it sometimes. Well, just saying. So only you can give your heart all the approval, right? I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. Only you can do that. That's why the mantra teaches you how to do that. And I really like it. I mean, it takes practice, like anything else. Particularly if you got childhood stuff, just saying, right? Just saying. I don't know who's watching this. If it feels personal and triggery, sorry, not sorry. But hey, my dad was born on Flag Day. Look it up. See who else was. I win. Let's have a look-see-dooksy here over in work. Again, Don Juan. Oh, this is going to be a big one. Don Juan, Hermit on the inner, Star on the outer, with sharing shame. When I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. Wow. I mean, this is alchemy. This is the rite of confession. Now, I want to do some clarifiers here before we put this all together. Work, career, vocation. Sharing your shame is an act of confession. And unless there is confidentiality in that confession, I don't recommend it. Right? What is confidentiality? An agreement that what is said here stays here. And that's why I do it every day, but I do it to the divine. Usually with a prayer cigarette in my hand, what I call a prayer butt, right? I confess. I have no idea. I confess. I feel like it's not just I've done something wrong, that I am wrong, right? It's a lot. But you're allowing that to move up and through you, and that's something that, again, only you can do for you. Is this all about childhood wounds? Maybe. But if there are childhood wounds here, it's about your relationship to the divine in your own life calling. It just is, right? And let's say your wounds do not come from abuse, but neglect, forget codependence and loss for a moment, then certainly this is saying in the inside, your creativity, dabble in this. Yes, you're afraid of going overboard because you've watched people go overboard. Narcissists, essentially, giving themselves all the approval they desire to nobody else. That's not it. You know that's not it. Taking the time, pull back, take the time, do this for yourself, dabble in it. It's going to light you up creatively. And certainly, I think that would kind of bring you, yes, 8 of Cups. You might have to, from 7 of Cups, go to 8 of Cups, walk away from people for a bit. I gotta get my 9th cup. And then make it to the 10. Untangling neglect. It do make sense. This is an intense read. I mean, it can be an intense read depending on your situation. Because in the work world, you really kind of don't want to, be called in for review and said, well, when I was 3 years old, it's a bit much. It's a bit much, right? But maybe the work that's indicated here and somehow affects your positive powers of seduction. Don Juan, remember, it's wild card. I have no doubt that you're radiating. Right? I have no doubt, though, that inside you might feel like a hermit, that nobody knows who you are. Well, when I share my deepest pain, I give myself permission to be. Just remember, who you share it to is your choice as well. And also know that if you are radiating your light, take the time, take the journey. You're more magnetic than you know. I've been magnetic since I was a baby. It's a song. He's so cute. Is that? Damn, I can't remember the name. It'll come to me. Let me just get these cards together because you still got one left to go. Why can't I remember? Semi-precious weapons. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, spirit guides of that cute guy. I can't remember his name. I'm sure it's Justin or something. Because why would I forget that? Okay, that's why we have subconscious minds. Let's get your last card down. Again, I don't really know why this one wanted to jump on the table, but it has the Archangel Fire Oracle Alexandra Wenman, Wenman. I found a link. It's in the description box if you want to go get one, I think, from her directly, which I try and do that as often as I can from their websites. Finhorn Press in Scotland, though. Check out Finhorn. It is a trip. Never been this life. We'll see. So, an Archangel is assigned to every contract, sometimes several, sometimes all of them, depending on the intensity, reason, season, or lifetime. So, let's see who's here to help you do the alchemy and fulfill your life purpose. If you ask, please take a nice deep breath. Thankfully, I'm asking for you. Still got to ask anyway. Still point. As I call upon the pantheon of archangels, there's an awful lot of you now. It's like humanity keeps giving you different names and shapes and forms, and you just keep going. Oh, how the one can become the many. Please, beloved arcs of angels, beloved celestials, who's assigned to this contract, who's helping, who's healing, who's the archangel, and what is their guidance, their grace, their love, their wisdom, their power, their oracle message to help the Libra Collective and the Crosswatchers alchemize the shadow to light, the lead to gold, the pain to peace, the toxic to healthy in this wounded child dilettante Don Juan contract. Cassiel, Cassiel, came up in one of the Path of True Love reads I just did. Card number 4. Is she companionship? Compassion, I think? I'm guessing Serenity. No. Serenity, no. Cassiel. Well, you know, my serenity prayer. I say it every time. Oh, dear God, grant me the serenity to accept the crazy shit I cannot change right now. The courage to change the things I can on the inside, right? I'm going to work on that for a little bit. No, what I just said, dear God, God of Zeus, Buddha, Jesus, Shaggy, Scooby. Yeah, serenity now. So I'm not going to read this whole thing. There's a lot in here. But a little background, and then there is an actual written message here for you, Libras and Crosswatchers. Card number 4, Cassiel, Cassiel, Serenity. The Angel of Serenity, Solitude and Temperance. Cassiel's name means God is my cover. Well, I think with the Hermit there's an indication that might be where your leverage is. And this gentle angel can help you find great strength in your solitude. When life gets on top of us and we feel overwhelmed, Cassiel reminds us of the importance of taking time out. She also helps us honor our boundaries, third level of power, and to say no when we need to. Well, making a choice there with that Aries in your second lane, right? Heart, the third eye crown, career. Cassiel's message is that it's okay to put yourself first so you don't become drained. Untangling neglect. They're so good. The message. Spend some much needed time alone in quiet solitude to rest and recharge. Honor your emotions and be gentle with yourself. E-I-E-I-O. It's already on the table. That's amazing. But now you know who to call. Who are you going to call? Some of you just said Ghostbusters. Don't lie. Even if it was in your head. I mean, I'm pretty clairaudient, but when thousands of people do, yeah, like thousands of people watch my reads. Sorry, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too highbrow, lowbrow, middlebrow for some people. I don't care. So, I love this reading for you, but now we're going to put it together in a blessimation. If you're new, it's a combination of a blessing and a summation. And I pretty much love doing it. So, please take a nice deep breath. Oh, we'll chill at the end if you want. Still point. Because the fun part happens after the blessing for me. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine, for the Libra Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Suns, and Crosswatchers watching this video and receiving this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need, that in their vocation. They awaken compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opening up the learning path of forgiveness in an inspired, creative way, a new beginning, just like a child would need, with the clean, safe boundaries, the highest potential of the King of Pentacles, whether that's them or somebody acting in that role as them. It's definitely feeling father energy so that they can deconstruct out, because only their beliefs are in the way. And that is true with pretty much everyone on planet Earth except the Dalai Lama, because, you know, it's the Dalai Lama. And so that in their career, they can delight in the arts without having to be a professional, and that they be alerted to the danger of becoming superficial in their pursuits while they make some selfish choices. May they be higher selfish choices, right? To really, from that third chakra, make the wisest, most loving, most empowered decisions and choices moment by moment that they can creatively, with that Seven of Cups on the outside. Oh, there's that one and there's that one. It just makes no sense. Well, what a perfect opportunity. Help them untangle neglect, taking the time to give themselves all the approval they desire, and that can start with the two-word mantra of I approve. I approve, I approve, I approve, I approve. So that in their work they be blessed, that they can spotlight their positive, seductive qualities by going within, maybe taking some solitude, maybe seeing things from a higher place, because they're radiating from the outside looking in. They're radiating. There's star power here, and yet there's something dim in their light there. So the guidance and the grace of the survival intuition is bringing them what they need, getting them home, so to speak, wounded child. And may they have the guidance, the grace, the love, the wisdom, the power, and the opportunity to share their shame when it's right to do so in their work. This could be shadow work, this could be psychological work, this could be inner child work. Because when they share their deepest pain, they give that child permission to be. So may they be blessed with all in their work, career, vocation, fulfilling their soul contracts, their life purpose, their role in a much larger plan, shifting this world from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, perdition to paradise, hell to heaven, poverty to prosperity, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. So let it be. And so it is. It was nice. A nice little finish. That had a nice smooth finish at the end. I liked it a lot. It's like good scotch. I never drink scotch. I don't like Scottish men though. Arkansas. If you like the reading, hit the thumbs up, right? If it made you laugh, if it made you cry, it made you a little bit of all of it, just hit the thumbs up. Helps other Libras find it. Want more of me here on YouTube, you know, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and all that jazz. But if you want the deeper dive, you want more of this every day, because I'm a lot of fun. I'm Patreon, I'm not kidding. Keep getting more subscribers. You know, I did it because I needed to, but now it's my favorite creative thing that I think I've ever done. So much creative freedom, yet it's not OnlyFans, but that option is still hovering in the air. So until then, if you would like a reading, a private reading with me, there is a link in the description box. A video I made a couple of years ago. I'm literally going to remake it this year at some point. I don't know when. Booking a reading with Mal. Can you imagine? Explains everything you ever wanted to know about booking a reading with Mal, but perhaps we're afraid to ask. Well, you don't have to be any more Libras and cross-watchers. You can watch the video, explain it for you. I'm going to be changing some things around in this year. Why not? I'm creative, and I think my wounded child's doing just fine, thanks. So seriously, I love you. I love Libras for the most part. When you're balanced, you're lovely. But that's true of everybody, huh? So hang in there. Do the alchemy. Fulfill your contract, legal seventh housers, yeah? Do the best you can, and by all means, reach out if you need help. And you're ready to share some shame. I've heard some stuff, so don't think you can shock, but you probably can't. So otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed of all of this, my beloved seventh housers, cardinal heirs, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.